All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to learn about money here. First thing we're going to do is talk about financial goals, okay? And establishing a budget, saving, spending, and money management tips, okay? And if I can get somebody to help me out, I just need some things passed out. If they can get one of each. Hurt yourself for all that. All right, let's go to the next one. Yes, please. Okay, go for it. All right, point two. Okay. All right, so a goal, okay? A goal is where you're trying to go, okay? That's why it's goal, because it's where you're trying to go, okay? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to figure out, well, where are you trying to go? Like, do you want to buy a house? Or do you want to save for your kids' education? Do you want to be able to travel? Okay? So first thing you need to know is where you want to go. Because once you know where you want to go, you know how much money that you have to save, or how much money that you have to have or earn in order to get there. Okay? Now, if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there, right? Like, I had to put in order to get here, I had to put into my phone the directions for this place, okay? Now, if I didn't have the directions, would I have gotten here? No. If I didn't have the address, I wouldn't have gotten here, and I would have just been wandering around. It's the same thing with money. If you don't know where you're going, then how can you get there? And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What's your name? Nora? Nora, nice to meet you, Nora. Okay. So there's different types of goals. You got short-term goals, okay? You get, does anybody, y'all have pens, anything, pencils, anything? Feel free to write down. Okay. Y'all have any extra pens here? I got one. Somebody needs that. Here you go.
Mommy needs your help.
All right, honey, I know you got my pen now. Short-term goals. This is like stuff you want to do now or within a couple of months, okay? And you got mid-term goals. These are things that you want to do in a couple years. Like buying a car or something is normally like a short-term goal. And long-term goals, even sometimes buying a house can be a mid-term goal. Long-term goals are things that you want to do over the long term. Like retire. How many people want to retire? Right. When you retire, that means you're not working, but the money is still coming, right? No work plus money is retired. That's what you want to do. And so you have to set a long-term goal to get there. Okay? All right, so what do you want? All right, so now you got to figure out, well, how much do you need? Okay? Not long?
Yes.
It's just not. What type of car do you like?
I like Honda CR-V.
Honda CR-V, okay. So Honda CR-V, used or new?
New.
New. So what is that, about $32,000?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
I know my car's okay. $32,000. Okay. So that's setting a goal. We say, okay, I need to have either $32,000 in order to purchase a car, or I need to get a loan for this amount. Okay. It's better to have some money already set aside. You know, to have, let's say I've got, let's say I've got $2,500 set aside, so that when I go to buy this car, I don't have to get a loan for $32,000. I can get a loan for a little bit less. Okay, so you want to figure out, okay, well, how much money do you need? Well, I want to get $2,500 so I can purchase this car. Okay, when do you want to buy it?
Next year.
Next year. Okay. So what month next year?
December.
December next year. Okay. I hope that wasn't important. No, it's not coming off. Guess it was important, wasn't it? Okay. December 2016. Okay. So what's it? This is February.
March.
So this is March. Okay. So let's say you hadn't done March yet. Okay. So you got 9 months plus 12. So you got 21 months. You got 21 months in order to save that. Okay? Does anybody have a calculator? I use computers.
I have it on my phone.
That's so just roughly $100 a month. Okay? You need to save roughly about $100 a month so that when you get to the car dealership, you say, I've got this amount. Okay? So let me get the best deal you can on a car. Now, if you just walk in, if you just go to the dealership without a plan, they might charge you anything, okay? Or you might have to take out a really high loan, okay? But if you have a plan, you know what? I'm going to save $100 a month in order that I can get this car. Then now you have an advantage, okay? What else? You guys want to, let's say, save for, anybody have kids? Okay. How old, your son or daughter?
Son.
A son. How old is your son?
The older one,
20?
12.
12. Okay. So you've got 6 years. Now, hopefully you'll get some scholarships, right? You know, so you don't have to pay anything. Okay. But if you do, you want to set a goal. You want to say, okay, I need to have some money set aside, okay, so that when he, what's your son's name? Muso? Okay, so when Muso, is that, how you spell that?
M-O-S-O-E.
So when Muso goes to school, you will already have some money set aside, okay? So you gotta have a plan. So these are how you set your goals, okay? Let's go to the next one. Okay. All right, so now I know, going back to now here, I know I need to set aside $100 a month, okay? So that's your plan. Go ahead to the next one. Okay, now, so now we need to set up a budget, okay? A budget means this is how much money I have and where is it going, okay? We need to figure that out. There's a lot of, so this is income. This is how much money you're bringing in. And these are how much money is going out. We like this. Do we like that? We don't like that. But we have to pay it, okay? There's different types of expenses, okay? There's fixed expenses, variable expenses, and periodic expenses. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go back to your your income, okay? So the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out how much money do I make, okay? Let's see here. Someone who's got my forms. Okay. So please open this. It says balance on the front. Okay. And we're going to go to where it says monthly income. Okay. Okay. Now, so basically, all you have to do with this is you write down how much money did you make. Okay. So the first one says job. Most of us have a J-O-B, a job, okay? And so you write down what is your gross income per month, okay? That means how much money do you make before they take the taxes out, okay? Then you write down how much is your net income. This is how much money that you make after taxes, okay? So, man.
No worries.
Okay. Let's just use a round number. let's say you made $36,000 a year, okay? You made $36,000 a year gross. That would mean that you made how much money? Devin, come on, shout it out.
300.
3,000. Okay, that would mean you make $3,000 a month gross. That's before taxes, okay? Well, your net, this is how much that you make after they take the taxes out and after they take insurance out and all that type of stuff. Now, sometimes it feels like if you make $3,000 a month, your net income is $5. Does anybody else feel that? You know, but normally it's not that bad. Let's say your net income is $2,000, okay? That's how much that you have left after your taxes, okay? So that's that same thing. For me, on my job, I will put down my gross income, how much that I actually, what it says on the top of my check, and then my net income, which is how much I have after the taxes come out, okay? Now, how many people are married? I just put my hand down, I'm not married. Everybody's married, okay? So the next thing you do is put your spouse's income there, okay? How much do they make a month? And then what is their net income, okay? You don't have to do it now. You can do it now, but you know, that might be something you have to figure out, okay? Now, the next one is your, does anybody have another job, more than one job? Just one job?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get part-time income. All right, rental, room and board. Let's say if you have another house that you rent to somebody, or you have a room that somebody lives in and they give you money. Maybe your son or daughter lives in your place, but they give you $200 a month or something like that, okay? Commission, a bonus, that means like a lot of times if you have a sales job, if you do a really good job, they give you a little bit more money, okay? Tax refunds, we like those, okay? It's time for tax refunds. So what you want to do with that, let's say you got a tax refund of $1,200, $1,200, okay? What you want to do, instead of just spending the whole thing, write it down right here and divide it by 12, the number of months in the year, okay? So if you get a $1,200 tax refund, then you put $100 a month. If you got a $2,400 tax return, write down $200 a month, or whatever, however you want to do it, okay? If you have any investments, you write that down. You have, if you have any like Social Security or anything like that, you write that. Unemployment insurance, so if you've ever been out of a job, you write that. Child support or alimony, you write that down. And any money that you're getting from your family or friends, or any other money that you have, you write all that stuff down, okay? You write all that stuff down, because once you know that, then you know what you can get, right? Because, let's say you try to put aside $100 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay? But if you make $90 a month, you got a problem, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay? But if you don't know how much money that you make, you don't know that you have a problem. Okay? So the first thing you have to do is write down how much money do I make. Okay? Then you can know what to work with. Okay? Now, you know what? Sometimes you're going to find out. Sometimes you might find out you don't make enough money. And then, okay? Now, if you find out that you don't make enough money, then you might have to find some ways to make some more money. Okay? But if you don't know make enough money, you won't know that, okay, I might need to get another job, or I might need to change jobs, or I might need to get another husband or wife. No, I'm just messing. Okay. So now the second thing is you determine your expenses, okay? Now, so it talks about fixed, variable, and periodic. Let me see where that is on the chart here. We may have to jump around a little bit there, Mr. Chris. Okay. Just go ahead and please flip through until you see fixed for me. Go back. Just go back. Go back. That last one was good.
This one?
Yeah, that's
This
perfect.
one or this one?
That's perfect right there.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, yeah.
All right. You know what? I do this stuff. Do you know how often I do this? Every day. Every day I do this. I sure do. Because when you work at a financial institution like I do, if I bounce a check, that's real bad. It's really, really bad, okay? So I always, always, always know how much money I have. Every single day, okay? Not quite exactly like this, but pretty much I do a daily thing, okay? So this is important because if you do this, you'll find out you have more money than you thought, all right? Fixed expense. This is stuff that doesn't change, okay? Most of the time, your rent is going to be the same, or your mortgage is going to be the same, okay? Or how much you put into your savings account is going to be the same. Your car payment, this might change, but that's not going to change, okay? That's going to be the same, okay? If you have student loans, that's going to be the same. You know certain things are always going to be the same, okay? Now, you also have variable expenses, okay? These are things that can change, okay? Food, okay? Utilities, that's like, what's utilities?
Energy.
What's that?
Like the water bill.
There you go. Energy, water, light bill, okay? All those things. Okay, what else is not on this list that you have to use at least once a week that goes up, way up, and sometimes it's way down? And right now it's kind of down, but going back up a little bit.
Gas.
That's the one, gas. Okay, so here's what I do with that, okay? What type of car do you drive? Honda Pilot, what do you drive? Honda Odyssey, what do you drive?
Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry. Can we get some American cars in here? What do you drive?
CRV.
What's that?
CRV.
CRV? What do you drive? Toyota Camry. What do you drive? Honda Fit. What do you drive? Toyota. What do you drive?
Honda Odyssey.
Honda Odyssey. What do you drive?
Toyota Matrix.
What's that? Toyota Matrix? Okay. We gotta get American, we gotta step it up. These are great American cars. But anyway, here's the next thing you gotta figure out. How much gas do you get per gallon? You gotta figure that out. I'm not gonna ask you what that is, okay? But you have to figure that out. Now, all of you drive like Hondas and Toyotas, so you normally have good gas mileage, okay? But now you got to figure that out, okay? Do I get 30 miles a gallon, 40 miles a gallon, 5 miles a gallon? You got to figure that out, okay? The next thing you got to do is where do you drive, okay? For me, let me tell you where I go every week, okay? Every week I know I go to work, and I know how far it is to work, okay? And I go to work 5 days a week, okay? So if it's 5 miles to work, okay, one way. So how many miles a day is that? 10 miles a day. Okay, how many miles a week? 50 miles a week. Okay. Now, next thing, okay, I go to church. I go to church once a week. It's 4 miles to church. Okay. So that's 4 miles once a week. Okay. So how many do I have for gas for work? 50 plus 4 for church. That's 54. And then I know pretty much other places I'm going to drive. So I want to say I drive, let's just make it easy. I drive 60 miles a week. Okay? 60 miles a week. Okay? So if I know I drive 60 miles a week, I can figure out how many miles I drive in a month, can I? Because it's normally about 4. So it's about 240 miles a week. Okay? Well, if I know how much gas I get per gallon, and I know how far I drive, then I know how much money I need for gas. Okay? Here's what most people do. They just take their debit card out, they go to the gas car, ching, and they go. And then they need some more gas, and they go ching, and then they go. Okay? And then here's what happens. Power bill comes out on the 15th, all right? Or whatever it comes out. and they've been cha-chinging, all of a sudden there's not enough money to pay that power bill. Okay? But if you already know how much money it takes to do that, you can put that money aside. And that's what I do. Every time I get paid, I figure out how much am I going to drive. Okay. Oh, and then what's the other thing I need to know? How much gas costs. So I know how far I'm going to drive. I know how well my car does with gas, and I know how much gas costs. So I use those three things to figure out how much money it takes. I used to work in Raleigh, so I knew it would take me $180 twice a month to get back and forth to work. Thank God I don't work in Raleigh anymore. You know, but I was able to take that money and save it. So I didn't. I was never surprised by that. Okay, so that's the same thing. Okay, food. That's another thing. Okay, you know if you got kids or not. You know, I hope you know if you got kids or not. You know how much they eat. Okay, so what you can do is you can set aside in advance. Okay, instead of going to the grocery store and just saying, that looks nice. That looks nice. I think I'll cook that. Here's what you do. You take out some money. I wish I had some money. I don't have the money anymore. But let's say these peppermints are my money. Okay. Okay. I get how many peppermints I have? I get 3 peppermints. Okay. So I go and I pick up some salad. That costs 1 peppermint. Okay. Then I go and pick up some steak. That costs another peppermint. Okay. Then I go and pick up what else? Some soup. Okay, that costs another peppermint. And then I go and pick up some chicken. Right. I can't pick up anything else because I've already taken that money out. I know how much I can spend. I always go to the grocery store and I know I can spend this much money. That's all I can spend. So I need to get what's on sale, or maybe I need to get this or that, but after that I can't spend any more money. What most people do is they go to the grocery store and they say, oh man, I want to get this. And then the auto loan comes out, and what happens? And they don't have the money. And then they call whoever and they say, listen, I had a hard time and I don't have any money this month. You know, and then you look at their account and you see they at the grocery store spending all their money. So that's what you do. These are variable expenses, but they don't have to be variable because you can control how much they are. You can know how much they are. All right. Last thing, periodic expenses. These things like your insurance, maybe going to the doctor, other things other things like that. Okay. So your car insurance might be $600 a year. Okay. So if it's $600 a year, you know it's going to be $50 a month. Okay? So with your car insurance, let's say, honey, your auto insurance comes out in May. Okay? That's when you pay your auto insurance, in May. And it's $600. Okay? Now, you may not have $600 in May. So that's $600, that's a lot of money, you know. But here's what you do. December of the last year, what you do? You put $50 aside. That's not going to be enough. You put $100 aside. Okay? January, put $100 aside. February, March, April, May. So when May comes, you've got that money. It's right there. Okay? So that's the thing. If you have things like that, annual expenses, like your car insurance, if you own a home, your property taxes, all of your homeowners insurance, the things that you will have to pay for all year, set them aside like they're a bill. Okay? All right, let's go now. Here's the other thing, and we're going to talk about this. That's the most important one right there, is your money for yourself. You are the #1 person that you got to pay. Okay? Honda Finance, Toyota Finance, whoever, they're not more important than you are. Okay? But here's the problem. People feel like you don't have enough money to save, right? Okay? Let me tell you what you can do. here's where your bank or your credit union or whoever you have can work for you. You can call me. If you work the credit union, you can call me. You say, Rashad, I want you to transfer. I get paid once a month. I want you to transfer $100 from my checking account into my savings account. I want you to do that, Rashad, because I know if I do it, I'm going to forget. Okay? Or you can say, Rashad, I get paid 2 times a month. I want you to transfer $40, okay, from my checking account into my savings account. Okay? Or you can say this, Rashad, I want you to transfer $1 a day from my checking account to my savings account. How many think that's kind of crazy? $1 a day, that's kind of crazy, right? That is crazy, right? I do that. I do that. Because when you have your finances real tight, you might miss $30. You might say, gosh, $30 a month? But I'll never miss $1 a day. Never. Never miss $1 a day. What can I get? What can you get for $1? You can't even get a candy bar for $1, you know. So, what's that?
119.
Well, yeah, the candy bar, $1. Yeah, you get something called, oh, it's only 99 cents, and then you get to the register, it's $1.06. Gosh, you can't get anything for $1, so you could set it up to have your money transferred from one account to another every day. That's called a funds transfer. All right, if you got a pen, write it down. If you got a pencil or pen, write it down. If you got one and the person next to you doesn't have that, give them your pen so you can write it down. Funds transfer, that's important. Okay? Because, Lawrence said, what's going to happen if you are personally transferring $50 a month from your checking account to your savings account, but then all of a sudden you're thinking about, gosh, Valentine's just hit. I don't have any more money. What are you going to do?
You do not transfer that money.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Christmas just hit. The kids had to get whatever, so you're not going to do it. That's why you have your financial institution do it. Have your credit union do it. Have your banks do it. So it comes out, you don't even think about it. The only thing that you can look at is when you pull up your savings account, you see this. How many people like to see that? That's good, that's money. I mean, I know you can't tell what it is. That's a good thing, okay? All right, let's go to the next thing. How much time do I have? I don't know. How am I doing on time?
You've gone somewhere for half an hour, so maybe.
Okay, just tell me to shut up.
But no, half an hour.
Okay, so now, here's some things to think about, okay? So this is a graph, a pie graph, okay? And what we're going to do is figure out how you want to divide your pie up, okay? This is your money, okay? And you want to figure out how much it has. So this color here, this is debt over here. That stuff you owe, credit cards, that type of stuff. Housing payment, right here. Savings, right here. Transportation, right here. Other, right there. Okay? Which one is the biggest? What color? Housing. Housing. Okay? Now, that's important. That's really important. What you want to do is you got to get your priorities in the right place. Okay? I know a lot of people that they've got a brand new, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, okay? But they've got a brand new Ford Mustang, okay? And the monthly payment on it is $600 a month, okay? Nice car. But then you get to their place and their rent is $300 a month. They got a $600 car and a $300 rent. Something doesn't seem like it's balanced, right? Okay? According to this, you would want to have more of your money going towards your housing, okay? Therefore, if you have a bigger house, you might want to get a smaller car until you get more money, right? Okay, let's go to the next thing. Falling asleep on the job. Okay. All right. Some people, I told you that I keep a budget every day, okay? But some people, it's a really tough thing. I get it. You know what? I work at a credit union. Do you know what my passion is? You know what I really love to do? Take a guess. Come on now, somebody throw something out. What do y'all think I love to do? What my passion is? Y'all don't think I have a life, huh? Y'all don't want to say, okay, you don't want to hurt my feelings. I'm a musician. That's my main thing. I love music. I play the trombone, big and loud thing with the slide. I love it, you know. So, as a musician, I didn't really like to think about money. A lot of people don't like to. They don't like to think about money, you know. I always thought I'd have a job where I'd just be happy. You know, as long as I'm happy, I don't have to worry about money. You know, you got to be happy and have money, okay? But thankfully, I got to a place where I found out that I have to take control of my money, okay? Because if I take control of my money, now I'm able to go do more things as a musician. If I take control of my money, now I can go to events all over the country where I can see great music, or I can buy a better instrument. Okay? If I don't control my money, I can't buy a better instrument, not without going into debt. So some people, you know, it's not something that's easy for everybody to do. Okay? How many people love to eat salad and greens and vegetables? How many people, you just love it? You love vegetables. Oh, put your hand down. Nobody's talking to y'all. Most people don't love vegetables, you know. Most people, you eat them because you have to eat them, right? Because if you didn't eat them, you grow big and fat, and you know, we have to roll you into the room, okay? But you do it because you have to do it, okay? Well, budgeting is the same type of thing. You may not necessarily want to do it. You may not feel like you have time to do it, but if you do it, you'll feel good about it, okay? If you budget, and I come back and I talk to you in 6 months, I promise me you have more money in the, set aside than you ever thought you would. Either you'll have more money set aside than you ever thought that you would, or you'll have less debt. Because you might not have enough money to have more money, but you may have enough money to start paying off some credit cards, to maybe pay down your auto loan a little bit, you know, to do some other things so that you'll be in a better situation so that you can more quickly get to retirement. Let's go to the next thing. Okay. So think of your budget as an ongoing planning device. Okay, this is important. Prioritize your goals. Okay. Bless you. So we're talking about finances right here. Okay. Somebody ask the ladies one more time. Y'all have a chance to think about it. So which one's more important, food or shoes? Food.
Food, shoes.
Food. I knew somebody was going to have to say shoes. Okay. All right. What about this one? Car payment or shoes?
Car.
Payment.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. What about this one?
Rent.
Both. Or shoes. Okay.
We got a practical bunch in here.
So you know what? That's easy now. That's easy now to say that now. But you know how many people get themselves in a hard time because they don't make that same decision? So that's what prioritizing your, well, first of all, prioritizing your budget means, okay? So that means that can you go back to the previous one, the pie graph? Okay? So you only got so much money, okay? And you got to split this money up. And so if your housing payment gets this much, that's your house right here, that means everything else can only get that much, okay? And it can't get any bigger than that because that's all the money that you have. So you have to prioritize your goals, okay? Long-term thinking. Long-term thinking. Long-term thinking. If y'all leave with anything today, that's the 3 word letters I want you to leave with. If you don't have a pen, please, if you got a pen, please write it down. If you don't have a pen, please get a pen from somebody. I'm gonna give you a second. Please write it down. You don't have a pen. If they got somebody help them with the pen, long-term thing. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to write it down. Put it in your phone if you got a phone. My man here, put it in your phone. Okay. Long-term thinking. Long-term thinking. Some people call it, I've heard it put this way, wealth mentality. Okay? Wealth mentality. Long-term thinking and wealth mentality are pretty much the same. Okay? What it means is this. You're always thinking about where you're going, not what you're doing right now. You're always thinking about where you're going. Let me show you something. Okay? I'm trying to get to that wall over there, right? Okay? Will I have a better chance of getting to that wall? Now, what do I use to get to the wall? What do I use? My feet, okay? Now, will I have a better chance getting to the wall if I look at my feet? Or if I look at the wall? What's going to happen if I look at my feet? I'm going to fall. So I'm going to look at, I mean, it doesn't even make sense, but I'm going to fall. That's what happens with your money, okay? If you're thinking every day about trying to make a decision, do I buy this or do I buy that? Should I get this food? Should I get this shoes? Should I get this clothes? Should I get this jewelry? Should I get these things for the kids? You trip up. But if you think about house, car, or well, not even a car, but your house. You think about retirement. Okay? You think about those things. If you think about that stuff, you'll have everything else that you want. If you think about retirement, if you think about how much money can I put aside? Can I put aside $2,000? Can I put aside $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000? You can do it. You can do it because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, if you didn't know, it takes money to retire. It takes quite a bit of money to retire, actually. Okay? I talk to people every day. Who have hundreds of thousands of dollars in an account who are concerned about retirement. Every day. Okay? But you can have that same. You can have hundreds of thousands or more. But you just got to think about where you're going. Okay? You may have to cut back on some things, but you just think about where you're going and you get there. Long-term thinking. That's how you get your money. Now, let's go on to the next thing. Okay. Oh, go back one. Okay. Now, we were talking about a budget. Limit your budget. When you're first getting started, just limit your budget to a couple months ahead. Okay? Because how many people have every year you say, I'm gonna lose weight, right? I'm gonna save some money, and then by the time February comes, you don't have any money. You're bigger than you were. Okay? The secret to that is not trying to do too much. Just do a little bit. Okay? So if you want to set a budget, think about your short-term goals. Like my man, Lynn. Do you think we can move this up at all? Nine. My man, Nine, he's trying to buy a car next year. Okay? So just think about how much money you want to put aside for the next couple of months. Don't necessarily try to look at the big picture yet. But after you get used to that, then you start, okay, I can do this, and I can do it every month. Okay? I told everybody before they walked in here, I look at my budget. How often y'all think I look at my budget? Every day. Every single day, I look at it. Because, and the reason I do that is because since I work at a financial institution, if I bounce a check, that's bad. I'll get a letter. I've gotten a letter. I wrote a check to my church, and it took them 3 weeks to cash it, or more. So I put a stop payment on it, and I just said, well, I guess they're not going to cancel this. Well, in the time that the stop payment came, they cashed it. So I got a nice little letter from the credit union that says, we saw that you are not maintaining your account. So I have to watch my budget every day. But I would recommend everybody do the same thing, because if you do that, you'll find you have a lot more money than you thought you did. All right, let's go to the next thing. Don't think about your budget as something that can't change, okay? You maybe you want to have a birthday party for your kids, so you're setting aside $15 a month for that before for just miscellaneous stuff. And you're like, well, I need to set aside a little bit more money, maybe $30 or $40 a month, okay? Oh, do you have? Let's talk about this real quick. Okay, you guys who just got in, please turn to the one that says balance. And these you guys have already been here. You're good. But for those who just got in, okay, now you're gonna turn to monthly income. Okay, and what I would like for you to do tonight, whenever you get the opportunity, is just simply fill in this information. What is your gross monthly income? Okay, that's the gross. What's the gross? That's the number that looks nice when you get your paycheck. Your net, that's the number that looks gross. Okay, but if you figure that out, then just figure out all the types of income that you have and write them down, because from there you can figure out how much money that you have to spend. Because like we were talking about man Nye, he's talking about putting $100 a month aside, but if he's only making $90 a month, he's got a problem, right? But if he doesn't know that he's making $90 a month, he doesn't know. You know how many people I talk to every day that don't have a clue how much they make? And that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. But I want you to know, how much money that you make. If somebody asks you, Randy, what's your name?
Jay.
Jay. If I ask you, and I don't want you to tell me, but if I ask Jay, how much money you make in a year? I want you to know what that is. Okay? How many people have seen, you ever seen Shark Tank? Do you know what Shark Tank, you know Shark Tank, the TV show? Y'all see Shark? Okay. They walk up to my man. They walk up to, Christmas comes in. Christmas got a new idea. And they say, Christmas, how many employees do you have?
15.
And they say, how much money did you make last 6 months?
60,000.
What about your net profit?
40,000.
What about this? What about that? They're killing with stuff. But you know what? They know. They know. Well, you're the CEO of your own business. Okay? So if you make $10,000 a year, know it. If you make $100,000 a year, know it. Because then you can figure out where you can go from there. Okay? All right. Don't get frustrated. It's okay. If you are putting something together and it doesn't work out the first time, that's okay. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. I'm in the best profession in the world outside the credit union, and that's music. You know why? Because in music, it's okay if you make a mistake. Now, if I was a doctor, that'd be a problem. But because in music, the first time I picked up my trombone, I sounded terrible. You know what I did? I picked it up again, and I sounded terrible. And I picked it up again. And you know what? I sounded a little less than terrible. But I kept doing it. It's the same thing with your budgeting. The first time you do it, you might mess up. That's okay. Do it again. Okay? And keep doing it, and I promise you'll get better. Don't give up. All right, let's go to the next thing. Save it. Let's go. Bam, we talked about this. You're the most important expense. So I'm just going to review this real quick. We talked about the fact that, what was my word, honey? What's my word? Funds, say it louder for me.
Fund transfer.
Funds transfer. Okay, for everybody that just came in. Funds transfer. That's the name of the game, okay? That is where you call your financial institution, whether it be the credit union, whether it be some other bank, but I don't want y'all to bank, I want y'all to be with the credit union, okay? Call us, call me, call whoever, and say, listen, Rashad, I get paid once a month, okay? I want you to transfer $100 from my checking account to my savings account every month, okay? Because if you do that, you have $1,200. After 2 years of doing that, you have $2,400. After 3 years of doing that, you won't have $3,600. You'll have a little bit more than that because the interest will start to pay for you. And the more you do that for 4 years, now you're closing in on about $5,000 in just 4 years. That's interesting. Okay, but you might not have $100 a month. You call us and say, Rashad, I get paid twice a month. I want you to transfer $30 twice a month from my account. So that's $60 a year. You're still putting aside $720 a year. $1,400 every 2 years, right? $2,100 in 3 years. If you don't have that, you can say, Rashad, I wanted you to transfer $1 a day from my checking account to my savings. I know you guys have already heard this, you know, but we're all a team here, so we're trying to come together, right? We want to be wealthy together. I would transfer $1 a day from my checking account to my savings account. Guess who in this room does that? Rashad. Y'all might think it's funny. $1 a day. But you know why? You know why I do $1 a day? Because when I first started doing that, when I first started working with the credit union, let me see here. I used to be a teacher, okay? And kids are crazy. I can say I can't do this. So then I became a loan officer. I used to do mortgages and things. I didn't like the whole commission thing, you know, because sometimes you make a lot of money, sometimes you don't. So then I took a job that was paying me a whole lot less than my bills were, okay? So finally I got a job, an opportunity to the credit union opened up, and so that was good. But I was still really kind of behind with some stuff. So I really didn't have a lot of money to set aside every single month. 10% sounds great. I just didn't have it. But I knew what I did have eventually. I knew that I could set aside $1 a day, because I never miss $1. Because what can you buy for $1? Where? And is it $1 after? Is it $1 after tax?
96 cents.
After tax? Okay, well I had to go to that McDonald's. Okay, so you can get, what else can you get for $1 after tax? What can you get for $1?
Dollar store.
After tax, that's going to be $1.05. Yeah.
Not in Massachusetts.
There's not a lot of things that you can get for $1. So I know I never miss $1. So every single day, actually it's $1.03. Because every little while I up it a little bit. I get like Donald Trump and I up it $1.04. But you know what? At the end of every month, I have an extra $30. 10 minutes. I get an extra $30 set aside. I have $365 a month. I mean a year, or closing in on $400 a year that I'm setting aside outside of any other money that I put into my savings account. You know what else I do? I have $1 that goes, and this is due for you guys. So now we're coming back. I have a personal loan. I put $1 a month, $1 a day to the personal loan too. So I have $1 a day going towards my savings account, and I have $1 a day going towards my personal loan. So every month I make a payment on my personal, right? But I also make another $30, or another basically $400 a year on that personal. You know how fast I'm gonna get rid of that? I'm gonna get rid of it real fast. And then what happens when I get rid of that personal loan? Let's say my monthly payment for my personal loan was $50 a month. Okay. So after I pay off that personal loan, you know what I'm gonna do with it? That $50 a month? With my savings account. So now I got an extra. How much is that a year? If it's $50 a month, I get an extra $600 a year. Plus, how much going in a day? $1 a day. Did that stop? No. Since I don't put it towards the personal loan, what can I do with it? Put it back into my savings account. So instead of $1 a day, man, I got $2 a day going to my savings account. How much is that a year? $720 a year? That I won't even miss? You see how this adds? Okay, that's $720 a year. That's $1,400 in 2 years. $2,100 in 3 years. You see how it adds up? Plus the personal loan that I paid off, that's $600. In 2 years, that's $1,200. It's adding up. It's adding up. It seems like nothing, but you do it over time. Then you get $5,000. Then you get $6,000. You get $7,000. $10,000. You know what you do with that money? You don't touch it. You don't touch it. Because this is where people go wrong, Christmas. This is where people go wrong, Dennis. They see they get that $5,000 in their account. And they think about what they can get with that. But the main thing, your main goal is get to, your number one goal, okay, is retirement. Okay? Because retirement means what? In the simplest terms you can put it, it means what?
Relaxing. Not doing anything, but
Making
But-
money without doing it.
There you go. The simplest terms you can put it, retirement means you're making money, but you're not doing anything.
right.
How many people want to do that? Okay. Now, you might still want to work. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with working. You might want to work till you die. I would want to. I mean, I like doing stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't want to have to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to do stuff because I want to do it. You know, I don't want to just work because I have to work. Okay. So this is how you do it, just a little bit at a time. Let's go to the next thing. Okay. If you can, try to set aside 10% of your paycheck and do that first. So if you know you get $3,000 a month, call me. Rashad, I want you to transfer $300 a month into my savings account. If you can do that. If you can't do that, figure out how much you can do. But don't do nothing. Do something. Okay? That's as much as you can. See it as a bill. That's why you do it as a funds transfer. Because like my man just Christmas just said, you know, when Valentine's Day comes, you know, ladies are always taking our money, aren't they? Crazy. But you know, Valentine's comes, now you don't have any money. What you gonna, if you're transferring the money yourself, what you gonna do after Valentine's? You're not gonna transfer it because you don't have any money. But if you have a funds transfer set up, you don't even think about it. Now Valentine's is based off of how much money you have left after that. Okay? And that's when you tell your girl, say, well, you know, I don't have any money, I have to pay my bill, you know, which was my savings account. She ain't gonna listen to me. All right, go to the next one, please. Okay, how can I save? Okay. Let me pause real quick here. I'm gonna get back to that, but I want to make sure I hit some things real quick here because I was asked to cover some things about getting a house. Okay. First thing you want to do with getting a house is to get your credit together. That's the number one thing, is get your credit together. Okay. Well, how do you get your credit together? Okay. First, you got to know what your credit is. Okay. Tell me your name again.
Jay.
Jay. How come I can't remember Jay? Jay. All right, Jay. And what's your name again? Nyanyu. Okay. So Jay, Nyanyu, if I come up to you and I say, and I want you to tell me, but Nyanyu, I want you to say, if I ask you, what's your credit score? I want you to know it. Even if you don't say it, I'm going to pop in your head. If I ask you what's your credit score, I want you, and hopefully it's like, hopefully it's not, But the first thing you got to do is figure out what it is, okay? Because good or bad, if you don't know what it is, you're at a disadvantage, okay? Because that's when you go to the car dealership and you say, I want to buy CRV, like my man here says, and they say, okay, no problem, the interest rate is going to be 18%. That's crazy. If you don't know, that's a crazy interest rate. 18%, that's a crazy, don't pay that. Don't ever pay 18% for a car. I paid, I think, somewhere between 9 and 13% my first car. You know why? I didn't know. I didn't know what a good interest rate was. Okay? So first thing you got to do is know what your credit score is. Okay? Second thing you got to know is what's on your credit. Okay? So here's where you go. Okay? Yeah. Man, where's my lady with the race thing? I've never seen an eraser that wasn't made to erase. All right, write this down, guys. Annual credit report.com. That's for everybody in here. Annual, that's ANNUALCREDITREPORT.com. I spell it for you because my handwriting is off. Yes, ma'am.
You got a phone number?
Oh, well, you can go to the library. How many libraries they got at Carolina? 160,000.
What did you say after the P?
Annualcreditreport.com.
Okay.
annualcreditreport.com is, I guess, subsidized by the government, okay? If you go there, you can see your credit report. You know how much they'll charge you to see your credit report? Nothing. Right, you get it once a year, okay? There's 3 different credit bureaus. You can get all 3 of them for no charge, 1 time a year. That's for the government. Now, if you go to all the commercials that you see, freecreditreport.com, Credit Karma, all this type of stuff, you go to freecreditreport.com. It's free until you start seeing a monthly charge show up on your account every month. But if you go there, annualcreditreport.com, you can see your credit report for no charge. Now, they will charge you if you want to get your credit score. It's $14, I think, a score. Is that worth it? Yeah, $14. Come on, get your credit score. Find out what your credit score is, okay? Because that way, when you walk into the car dealership, when you walk into credit union, when you walk into a bank, credit union, we're going to charge you the same interest rate. But if you walk into a bank and they say, your interest rate, honey, is going to be 10%, you just walk out. Because you say, I know my credit score is 700. I'm not paying 10%, and I know my credit score is 700. But if you don't know, you don't know. Okay? So the first thing you got to do is get your credit score, then find out what's on your credit. The next thing you got to do is if you got some bad stuff on your credit, you got to take action. Okay? You got to take action. You got to get rid of it. Okay? The whole thing about, well, it'll go away after 7 years. But that's great, but it's going to take you 7 years for that to go away. And in the meantime, it's dinging your credit. It's killing your credit. So, you know what the #1 thing people have? The collections, bills that people have? Right here. I don't know how Verizon and Sprint and T-Mobile, AT&T, I don't know how those guys stay in business because there's so many, that's what it is, okay? But if you know you got a $400 bill with AT&T, with Verizon, with what have you, how much time I have left? 30 seconds?
A few
seconds?
slides, so I don't know if you want to go priority.
How much time I have?
Yeah, no, 30 minutes.
5-10 minutes.
About 10 minutes? I had 10 minutes ago.
Okay. We'll give you extra time, overtime.
Okay, no problem. So, if you got a little $400 bill with Verizon, $600 bill with AT&T, with Sprint, pay it, okay? And did you know that if it's you have like a $600 bill with Sprint, Jimmy, you call them and say, listen, I'll pay $400. A lot of times they'll do it. A lot of times they do it. Because they'd rather get some money than no money, right? Okay. Next thing, a lot of people have a little payday loans and other things that they have on your credit report. Times got hard. They ran out of money. Go ahead and pay that stuff. Get in contact with people. And as you're saving that money, start paying that stuff down. Okay? Because here's the thing. If you come to the credit union, you come to a bank or someplace else, and you say, listen, I want $100,000. I want $300,000 to buy a new house. And they look at your $600 collection. That's going to be a problem. Okay? Because how are you going to afford a $300,000 house if you can't pay a $600 collection? Now, but some people think, oh man, I'll never be able to have a house. No. Just take care of that stuff. Here's how you take care of that stuff. You figure out, well, what type of mortgage payment would I like to have? What type of mortgage payment would I like to have? If you figure out how much rent how much did you rent? $700 a month, $300 a month, $2,000, whatever your rent is, okay? So you figure out how much do you want your mortgage payment to be? You want to be a little bit higher than that? A little bit lower than that? The same as that? Okay. Now take that money and put it aside. Okay. If you can find money in your budget to put that money aside, then use that money to pay those collections. Okay. Then when you get the mortgage, you've already got that money set aside. Does that make sense? So or let's say if your rent is $500 a month, and you say, I think I can afford $800 to get a house. I think I can afford that. I did the math. I looked at my money. I saw how much money that I had left. plus the, whatever amount I'm putting into my savings account, I think I can afford $800 a month. Okay? Then don't go to your financial institution right then and say, let me get a mortgage. Take that extra money, so my rent's $500, my mortgage is, I want to have an $800 mortgage, so that's a $300 difference. Let me take that $300 a month and let me just clean off everything. Okay? Okay? Now, here's the next thing you got to do. You got to have credit. Okay? You got to have credit. Okay? What's your name? I don't know what your name. Huh? M? Hey, M. I'm Rashad. Nice to meet you. So, M, has anybody ever told you if you don't have money, if you don't have cash, don't buy it? Have you ever heard that? Never heard that. You charge it. But has anybody ever heard that? I heard that before. If you don't have money, don't buy it. And you know what? That's not really a bad way to live. It's just a terrible way to get credit. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, okay? Because if everything that you buy is with cash, then when you go to say, hey, I want to go ahead and get a mortgage for $100,000, and you've paid back, you bought a car with cash, and you paid it back, you saved up for 5 years, and you got $20,000, you went to whatever Ford, and bam, $20,000, you feel great. And then you say, I want to get a mortgage. And you say, man, I just paid off a car with $20,000. How many people can buy a car with $20,000 cash? I did that. They're going to say, your interest rate's 10%. Because you don't have credit.
You got no credit.
So you got to have credit. Now, but you just got to be careful with your credit. Okay? So here's what you do. You get your small credit card. You get your small personal loan. And credit union, we call it... Okay, you got an open line. An open line of credit. Can I see? Because an open line of credit. Open, like not closed.
Yeah, one over here.
There's a back. Can you toss me that marker? Not really this toss.
Rashad,
That's all right.
there's one over here.
There's my baby, right here. Black mark. Bam. Now, it won't erase, I bet you. Okay. So, you can get an open line of credit. Okay? What that means is that's something that you can continue to borrow on. Okay? If you get a closed-in line of credit, that means, tell me your name again?
Junior.
Junior. That means, Junior, if I can give you, that means I give you $3,000, and I'm not going to give you anything else until you pay $3,000 back. That's closed in. Okay, but tell me your name now. Patricia. Okay. I don't know why I asked people names at the beginning, because I forget your name. But I'm going to get it eventually. An open line of credit means, okay, you have a line of credit with me. Okay, so let's say you might not want $3,000 right at the beginning. You might just want $200, or maybe $1,000, or maybe you do want all $3,000. But after you paid a little bit back, you paid $500 back, you can borrow on it again. Okay, that's an open line of credit. Okay, that's a good thing to have. Okay, because what you can do is you can go and buy some stuff, and then what do? Don't pay it? Pay it. Pay it. Buy some stuff and then pay it. Okay? You can get your credit card. Okay? And with credit card, you can go and buy some gas. Right? Okay? Let's say it takes you $50 to fill up your tank or whatever it is, $30 right now. You get your credit card, pay $30 on that credit card with the credit card, and then you know what you do the next day? Just go pay it back.
Yeah.
Okay? Remember the same thing I was talking about at the beginning of the session, whereas, and y'all missed this, but what you do is figure out how much money that you need for gas in advance. You know how much gas that your car gets to the gallon, you know how much gas costs, and you know how much you're going to drive in between your pay periods, because you're pretty much going to go to the same places. So use that to figure out how much money that you need, okay? But you know you're going to go to work, right? And you know you're going to go to certain places to eat normally, you know, you're going to have some idea, and then you put aside some discretionary money as a buffer for different places that you go. You know, but you know it's not going to be $20 this month and $5,000 next month. You know, it's going to be a range. Okay, so you can either put that money aside, you can put the cash aside, and just get gas that way, or you can put the cash aside, use your credit card, and then the next day, bam, put cash on the credit card, and now you're building up credit. And what happens when you pay that credit down? Credit score goes up. Okay? So credit card or open line of credit. The next thing you got to do is you got to make sure that you only have a little bit of credit. Okay? Did you know, this is something that I found very interesting. Did you know that the more money that you have, the more likely that you are to be in debt? Did you know that? Yeah. You knew that? Y'all knew that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I personally would have thought that if a person makes $100,000 a year, they wouldn't have any debt. Because I look at my bills, and I know if I, $120,000, if I had $10,000 a month, what would I need a credit card for? I got $10,000 a month. You know? But it's strange because people who have a lot of money, a lot of times they use a lot of debt. Okay? Well, here's the problem. They'll come in to a financial institution and they'll say, I make $120,000 a year. I should be able to get anything that I want. And so they get in there, they kind of, sometimes they're like that, most not everybody, but some people are like that. You know, and then you look at the credit and they've got $240,000 worth of debt outside the house. But I pay all my bills, but you got too much debt. Here's the secret. Only have about half of whatever the line amount is, okay? So if you have a $2,000 credit card, try to have $1,000 or less on that card. Or less. $1,000 or less, okay? So that means if you have a $3,000 open line of credit, you should have $3,000 on that open line, right? 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 No! God, come on, guys. That means you should have $1,500 or less that you owe on the card, okay? So now, next thing you got to do, first thing you got to do is figure out your credit score, right? Figure out your credit score. Tell me your name again, buddy. Yumu. So first thing you got to do, Yumu, is figure out your credit score, right? Then see what's on your credit, right? Okay. Then, if you got any bills, anything past due, any collections, charge-off, judgments, pay that stuff, right? Next thing you got to do, have credit. So if you don't have any credit, that's almost as bad as having bad credit, okay? So you got to get credit. And the next thing you got to do is if you already have credit, try to get it down to at least half of what you got, okay? Also, don't abuse your credit, okay? Just because you got a credit card doesn't mean that you can use it, okay? You should use it. I know people, they've got $2,000 on this credit card, they've got $3,000 on this credit card, they've got $4,000 on that credit card, and so here's what they do. They use it. And then they use it. And then they use it. And then they use it. And you know what's happening? It's going up. You know what happens to your monthly payment? Yep. First is $100 a month. That's no problem. Then it's $160 a month. Then it's $180. Then it's $200. Then it's $300 a month. Then it's $600 a month. Then it's $700, $800. Then it's $1,000 a month. Now you can't pay it. Now you get problems. So don't abuse your credit, okay? All right, that's the next thing. The last thing I'm going to say is it's a good idea to have a large credit item on your credit report, okay? So for example, if you want to get a $100,000 house, a $200,000 house, what is a good thing to have on your credit report? What's one big thing that you guys can think of? A big thing, probably the biggest thing that will be on your credit other than a house. You want to teach class? Jay, he's on top of things over here. A car. Yeah. It's a good idea to have a car on your credit report and pay it. Okay? I didn't say, Rashad didn't say go buy a new car. I didn't say that. You can get a used car or whatever. Or you don't necessarily have to get one. I'm just telling you that if you go to a financial institution and you say, I want to buy a house, Okay, we're going to look at everything that you have, and the only thing that you've ever had, you got a $500 salary advance, you got a $1,000 open line of credit, you got $2,000 here, and you got $3,000 on the student loan. It's kind of hard to then say, well, he's got great credit, because you might have great credit, but you get great credit with really small things. But if I look and see, oh, well, they're paying $200-300 a month on an auto loan, you know, okay. Well, their mortgage payment is going to be $600, $700, $800 a month. Oh, I can kind of see that. If I add up everything they have together, it looks like they can pay that and plus add a mortgage. Okay, so it's a good idea. I'm not saying go do it. I'm just saying it's a good idea to have that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop here. I know we didn't get all the way through it, but I think I gave y'all a lot. You know, probably you want to just go to sleep now. Do y'all have any questions for me? Yes, Patricia?
You have a 401k plan.
Uh-huh.
If you get ready to retire, do you have to close it out or can you keep it?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Okay. Unfortunately, that's not my area of
Okay.
You
expertise.
can find that out for you, though.
Huh?
I can find that out for you.
Okay. That's what I need to know.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
getting ready to retire. I got a 401k plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, do I have to close it out or can I keep it?
Okay. See, I know with an IRA, what happens with an IRA, and it may be similar. What happens with IRA is once you reach a certain age, you have to start taking a certain amount of money every year. They're basically going to determine what your life expectancy is, which is weird for somebody to determine how long they think you're going to live. You know, but then they'll say, oh, you've got this much money, all right, so you have to take at least $50 a month. It may be that way with 401k, I expect it is, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a credit card fraud,
Yes, sir.
and I'm trying to figure out how to, they sending me the bill,
Okay.
and I'm trying to get out of it.
Okay. So the first thing you got to do is contact the companies that those bills are
Right,
going.
somebody used my card,
Okay.
ran the bill up,
Uh-huh.
and then sent me the bills.
Okay.
They told me to go to the local police station
Mhm.
and make a report.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So several things you want to do. Contact whatever company it is, whether it be Verizon, what have you. Make sure that they are aware of it.
Right.
Make sure you file a police report, and also contact the 3 credit bureaus, which are, and I think in your, yes, let me see this real quick. I think it's in here, Equifax and TransUnion
Yeah.
and Experian. Contact them to make sure. It may be a good idea to get on your credit what's called a credit freeze. And what that means is that if any time somebody pulls your credit, they will either, number one, can't pull your credit
How do I get that?
when you contact those credit bureaus, and they'll tell you whatever their particular process is. They'll either make it so that you can't, nobody can pull your credit without, or they'll have to call you. So for example, once you have that on there, if you were to come to me and apply for a loan, I would pull your credit and it would say credit freeze. And you'd have to call whatever company first to release that, and then I can pull your credit. Okay? So just keep in mind, if you put that on there, it makes it a little bit more, there's an extra step you have to go through in the time that you're applying for a loan. But it does kind of help with fraud.
So when I go down to the police station, what do I mean, any questions I need to ask them, just show them the bill or?
Yeah, just tell them, basically explain the situation to them. And every police station may be a little bit different. But just tell them what's happened, how did it happen? Because they may or may not be able to do a whole lot about it, but at least what's going to be happening is they'll probably correlate your information with somebody else's, and that's going to help them with an investigation to be able to find that person and hopefully get your money back. Okay, sure.
Say if you call your credit, they tell you what bills you owe.
Uh-huh.
And can you take that like, say I owe a ride, and they cut the phone, and I call and say, can I pay so much? And they tell me, no, I have to pay the money.
Mhm.
Can you just go on and send in the money even though?
Yes, but you're still going to have, so if they say you owe $600, and you say, well, I'll pay you $400, and then you pay them $400, you're still going to owe them $200.
Yeah, I know, but maybe you can't afford $400. Maybe
Uh-huh.
you can afford $50 or $60.
Right, I mean, you can set
It'll
up.
take a long time to pay them off.
Right.
But you showing you trying to pay right.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And that's a good thing. And also, that's one thing that we would look at here. If I see you have a collection to Verizon for $600, but you've paid it down to $300, Okay, it wasn't great that you had a collection, but it is great that you've been working towards getting rid of that. So that's a positive thing, definitely. Any other, yes, sir?
How about the pay off credit bill every month is good credit also.
Say again?
I pay off my credit bill every month.
Okay, that's a good thing. That is very good. That's good. If you can pay off your credit card or all your bills every month, that's a great thing. And your credit score should go straight through the roof. Keep doing that. Okay. Any other questions? Come on, ask me now.
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I think the endurance, somebody announcement in front of their home, but credit score, it can be fixed to become a good credit. How to do that?
Okay. There's good ways to do that, guys, and there's bad ways to do that. Okay? And you have to be careful, and you have to ask a lot of questions. He said that he's seen signs where a person is advertising, get bad credit, we'll fix your credit now. Okay? There's two ways to do that. Okay? Now, one way to do that is that that company will contact all of your people who you have collections with, and they will negotiate for you and try to set up a payment arrangement. Like, once again, Verizon, $600. Okay, well, what if she pays $400? So they'll set that up, and then they'll contact you in order to set up a monthly payment plan. As a matter of fact, in that green book, that's in there. It talks about that. Here's the bad way to do it, okay? What is that called? Oh my gosh. It's like masking or something like that. So if you contact a credit bureau, let's say you have a collection with Verizon, okay? And if you call Equifax, which is one of the credit bureaus, and you say, I don't know, Verizon, they're crazy, man. I don't owe them anything. Well, what the credit bureau will do is that they will take that off of your credit for a little while you work it out. Is it gone? No, it's not gone. They just have removed it for a little while you're working it out. Well, some companies that you'll get in contact with, that's all they do. You contact them, and they will contact all your companies, and they will set up disputes for all your companies. So all of a sudden, you had 10 collections on your credit report. Next month, you don't have anything. Okay? Right. Now here's the thing. Your credit didn't get any better. It just seems like it got better. So what would happen is, let's say you come into a financial institution like mine, and I pull your credit, and you've got a 680 credit score, and you don't have any collections whatsoever. And I'm like, wow, this is great. But you know what any good loan officer should do? Should always go back. You know, if you ever done a loan with us before, if you ever applied for a loan before, I'm gonna look at that stuff too, because I want to kind of see the situation, how the things work. And so I see, oh, you got a 680 credit score now, but wait a second, last month you had a 300 credit score. What happened? And if I see that, then I would decline the loan immediately, because that's cheating the system, and it's not really your fault. Unfortunately, I've had to decline probably at least 3 or 4 people in my career because of that, because they had great credit then, but what they were doing, and they didn't know they were doing it, but they were cheating the system by trying to make it appear like they had good credit. It's really unethical. I don't know that it's illegal, but it's very unethical. So when you're dealing with one of a company like that, you need to find out, how do they fix your credit? And if you read that green book, it'll talk about that. It'll talk about the different, because there's a lot of scams out there, guys. A lot of scams. But if you read that book, it's going to give you some knowledge and some power. Okay?
I did that one time, right? I called the security to come up with you talking about. They told me to send them $140. They're going to take that $140 and send every one of my little credits, baby, $10, $20. You can do that.
Right, exactly.
Like you said, that's a scam. You can do that.
And they kept 70.
Yeah, that's what I said too. That's what I said. What? Send you $140. You go straight my credit out by splitting it. I can do that.
Exactly. What other questions you guys have? Please feel free to ask whatever question that you want.
How can we close our credit?
How you close it?
Yeah, I don't want people know my credit, If they go check my name and my birthday, and they know my credit card, but I don't want.
Okay. So That's just what we were talking about with the gentleman over there. So, I don't have the phone numbers for you right now. Come on. My arm is getting strong. But what you want to do, contact these 3 companies, okay? All right. These are credit bureaus. Okay. Number 1 is TransUnion. Yep, Equifax. And number 3 is Experian. Okay, you can find them online. Okay. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. These are your credit bureaus.
It's one of them you have to pay.
Yep, some of them are a little bit different. Some of them you pay, some of them you don't. But the 3 of them, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, okay? You contact them and you let them know that you want to put a freeze, a credit freeze on your report. Some of them might charge you, they may not, in order to do that. Now there's other companies that you can use as well. Like you may have heard of LifeLock. If you use prepaid legal or something, they can set it up so if anybody tries to apply on your credit, they'll let you know about it. There's a lot of different companies that you can use, but the only thing that they're going to do is they're going to contact those companies right there. So you kind of have to research that for yourself to determine which ones would be the best. But it all boils down to those 3. So if you put a freeze on that, when you come to me and apply for a loan, it's just going to say, it's not going to say anything, and you'd have to unblock it first.
And if I want to reopen, have to contact them?
Yep, you got to contact them first. That's the only thing about it, is that you always have to have that extra step first, is contacting them first. Any other questions? It's okay, you can ask a question. You got a question?
No.
Uh-oh. Does she have a question? You got a question about that? Never too late. Oh, and you know what? I'm glad she's back there. I'm glad she's back there. Because here's another thing I want you to leave with. Start talking, if you have kids, start talking to them about money now. Don't wait till later, okay? Start talking to them about money now. Do you know that bad credit is generational?
Yeah.
Do you know that poverty is generational?
Yeah.
Did you know that wealth is generational?
Yeah.
Do you know why? That's what you teach. If your parents never had any money or never knew what to do with their money, the money that they had, how can they teach you? But with you guys, even if you don't have a lot of income, but if you find out stuff, your income might be limited, but you'll be able to save up some more. But guess what your kids will be able to do? Your kids will be able to surpass you. And then guess what their kids will be able to do? Be able to surpass them. And then on and on and on. And that's how you start to generate wealth in your family. That's how you go from, maybe your income is $10,000 a year, maximum. But your child, their maximum income is $40,000 a year. You know, let's say $80,000 a year, okay? But then their child is $500,000 a year. And it goes on and on and on. And now that's when you have generational wealth coming in. But if you don't talk to your kids about that, they're going to go in there and make the same bad decisions that you may have made when nobody talked to you. That's what I did. Okay, so talk to them now.
Thank you,
Now,
Rashad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, Rashad is from the State Employee Credit Union. So I don't know if he has cards, we can get his contact information, and you know, you can call him personally or meet with him as a state employee, and you get some special bonds.
Where you at? You want me down or what?
I'm in Hamilton Road, right off of the Aloft Hotel. Here you go. Can I get this to somebody to pass out?
Chop Hill.
Oh, Chapel
Thank you.
Hill.
Yes.
Going towards the highway. Yeah. Sorry?
No, I work by the right next to the Aloft
I'm not
Hotel
familiar
on
with
54.
You're kind of like right down here, like
Where the Whole Foods is.
Okay, one down.
Oh, he on there with the whole.
going towards the.
Okay,
Is that
okay.
54? Going towards
Thank you, Darren.
Raleigh, like going down towards the highway.
Good to see
You know how
you.
like South Road becomes.